Nigerian novelist Ben Okri said, "Some people say when we're born into stories. I say we're also born from stories." For this week's episode of Digital Tuesdays, we speak with Guyanese manager and owner of Reminiscence bio, Lisa E. Hamilton, a woman on a mission to memorialize the lives of the ordinary and extraordinary people living within the Caribbean. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Digital Tuesdays. And I am so excited that we have a young, vibrant entrepreneur from the country. Of course, she lives in Guyana. And at this time, I'm just going to ask her to introduce herself to us and just tell us who she is. Hi, Lisa, and welcome to Digital Tuesdays.
Hi, Keon, and thank you for having me. Um, First of all, I want the viewers to know that my name is Lisa Hamilton, as would have been mentioned. I'm 26-year-old. I am a journalist, and I'm the manager and owner of Reminiscence Bio. If anyone asks, I would tell them that I'm a quiet person, and I'm quiet because I'm always thinking, I'm observing, I'm analyzing. I like to be as creative as possible. If there's a task to be done, I don't just want to do it. I want to see what's the best and most innovative way that you can do it. So that's just a bit about me and my personality and my occupation.
All right, thank you so much for that. All right, let's just get right into it. What is it about entrepreneurship that made you say, all right, this is what I really would love to explore?
Well, first of all, looking back, I never had entrepreneurship as something in mind. As a child, I wasn't necessarily thinking I want to be a business owner. I knew I wanted to be an author, and it wasn't necessarily um, a career that was at reach, especially in the Caribbean, one where you can make a living.
Yeah.
So I had that in mind, but I didn't have entrepreneurship in mind.
Right.
I guess it wouldn't have been until I became older and I saw other folks, young folks, getting into business, doing their own thing, that I thought to myself, hey, maybe I could get into business too. But a lot of times, I think many people equate business with maths. So you know that if you're a business person, you got to know the accounting and the financial aspect, and that's
Yeah.
true.
Mhm.
So that might scare away a lot of folks, and it definitely scared away me.
Yeah.
But today I find myself in business, and it does have the maths, which I'm trying to I'm trying to get that down because that's important. Get someone to assist me with that. But business is more than just the maths.
Yeah.
So I would say I decided to get into entrepreneurship because I realized that it's more than maths. I realized that it's not just for some people. So anyone who has something innovative, whether it's an idea or a need that they see in society that needs to be met, business is for that individual.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you for mentioning that because that is one of the reasons I stayed away from certain professions because of that math element. But I'm happy that you said it's a more entrepreneurship is more than just that. And just to segue into, of course, your business Reminiscence bio. Um, what is it? What exactly sparked that idea?
Well, apart from me, just loving writing and loving meeting people, especially on that one-on-one basis. Um, there was a point in time when I went on a one-week holiday to visit my grandfather, my family, and at that time, I already had the idea for beginning this biography business in my mind. I'll tell you a bit more about that. But it's not until when I arrived in where my grandfather lives, it's a riverine community. They don't really have access to electricity as we would have it. They have to use generators and so on. So it's a very cut off community, you should say that. And for them to get certain services, they have to go further up in speedboat to a town. So he's far away. And it's not until that I was there that I decided, I wanted to make him my first client. And after I sat down with him and we talked that night, you know, with the light from the generator in the house, everywhere else is dark. We're just sitting there in the chair and we're talking. I learned so much from that one sit down interview with my grandfather that I didn't know and would not have known, because it probably just wouldn't have come to my mind to ask, hey, where did you grow up? What was your first job? Some of the other challenges that he faced in life. So there and then, I realized that I chose my grandfather for my first client, and look how much it meant to me, or how much it means to me. Imagine what this could mean for other people around Guyana, not just the affluent people, but for the average Guyanese. So I had the business in mind, but my experience interviewing my grandfather definitely opened up my mind to the realms, the possibilities, the impact. And there and then I knew that it would be something that would be greater than me just wanting to start a business, but something that people, future generations can look back at and be thankful that they participated in it.
Yeah. So just for our listeners and viewers, could you just tell us a bit specifically what your business is about?
Okay, sure. Reminiscence Bio is a biography business, and it focuses on memorializing the life stories, as I mentioned, of the ordinary and extraordinary people around us. How we do this is that we would sit with you. We have several sit down interviews with you, and we record your life story from birth to present in the format of a book, or the format of a book, and a video summary of your life. And that's dependent on the package that you choose. So primarily our services gears towards, recording one's life story. And many people might think, I was just maybe a farmer, or I was just a seamstress, nothing spectacular happened in my life. But the mere fact that you were alive, the mere fact that you passed through from, birth to present, you definitely had experiences. And no matter what those experiences are, or how little you might believe they are of worth. And I can guarantee you that they will be of worth to whether your great grandchildren or their great grandchildren. They will want to know who was my great 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 grandmother. And you would find, especially in the African, or we could extend it to the Caribbean as well, we don't really know our history. We know the history of how we came here or were brought here. Some of us were brought here, some of us came here. We know that history, but that's where it ends. We don't know what happened before, then that's understandable. But even some folks right now, like maybe you and I, or people around us, we don't know a lot about our parents or our grandparents. So I believe that it's up to this generation, our generation that has access to technology, it's at our fingertips, to make the most of what we have, and don't say what if or we should have, but just do it.
Yeah, I really I'm happy you mentioned that, because sharing and telling our stories is such, it plays such a huge part. It is evolved in our own culture. Even when we visit our grandparents or wherever, they would sit and share stories about when I was a boy or when I was a girl, and how things used to be. Um, Speak to us a bit about, is this also something where you're trying to, because you hinted to it, where we have access to technology now, is it that you are also trying to ensure that this generation understands the importance of telling your story or our stories?
Yes, definitely. If nothing else, um, if my business, doesn't make it as something big, compared to the big companies out there, even if it's just making the small impact to remind people on the daily that it's important to know your history, record your history, then I would deem my business a success, definitely, because that definitely is the end goal, at least for me and my company, my business. Sorry.
Yeah, because even listening to you, I'm seeing so much as it relates to what the value that you're bringing, because something, as people may think it's simple, Lisa, but even something like this could be introduced from a younger age in terms of schools. Um, any sort of forward vision that you may want to even sort of extend this kind of proposal to even young children?
Well, I don't know because I think of it from this angle. When I listen to some of the stories of my clients, right, I learn a lot. Many of them, at least for Guyana, we were British Guyana before we were Guyana, the Republic. So I've definitely learned a lot there and there, bits and pieces. I've been able to piece together parts of history, listening to folks, things you never knew before. So as it relates to the historical aspect of it, the information that the average Guyanese might have. They might have this little, oh, remember when this happened, or I was there when this
Okay.
big event took place. So to me, a culmination of that could be useful to, yes, young children to help them remember. At least I would say for Guyana, I think we spent a lot of time with the politics and trying to remember all of the political folks back then and why this party is this way because of this person. But maybe we should stop focusing so much on the history that continues to divide us and focus on the things that we can reminisce about our country and where we came from, and the people that worked hard to bring us to where we at right now. And I want to interject. I know you're Jamaican, and I definitely have plans to launch my business in Jamaica as soon as I gain a sturdy footing here in Guyana. Because, as I mentioned, it's not just a Guyana thing, I believe it's a Caribbean thing, and we can all benefit from knowing our history.
Yeah, that is so true. It's important. I mean, this is where we're from. It's amazing how we get so influenced by the Western world and know so much about the U.S. or England. The British Empire. So I definitely this is something that we should embrace this side of our storytelling. And I remember you were saying something to me when we first spoke that the very very important and so important people of the country. Why are we having the important people of the country being captured? And you're a neighbor, you're a whatever may not you may not see yourself or as significant. Is this a way to also say, listen, own your story, because your authentic story really is your true self?
Yes, as I usually say, there's no better person to tell your story than you. Nobody else can come and tell me about Keon more than Keon can come and tell me about Keon. So definitely, I do believe that the average Guyanese should have access to such a service, and that's why my prices are relatively low to to the average Guyanese or to the average person. They might not see it as low, but really and truly, compared to just the services for you to request maybe somebody to write a book for you or somebody to lay out a book or even edit a book, it's really a lot of money. So there was definitely a tug and pull with me, especially in my mind, that is, especially during the beginning of my business, with understanding that, hey, we know that you have a passion for this and you want to make a difference. That's nice, that's lovely, but you can't pay your bills with hugs. There has to be a price attached to your service. So I've been trying to, maintain that balance of keeping it relatively low, affordable to the average Guyanese, so that, I don't defeat my purpose, which is to ensure that everybody has a chance, if they so want, to tell their story and
Yeah.
preserve their history.
All right, so we've got a sense of what it is that your business is about. Let's kind of peel away the layers as it relates to, because you've actually mentioned it through our conversation, the business side of it now. What are some of the hard lessons that you had to learn launching out into this entrepreneurial world?
I think we would need all day. And I'm still learning some of those lessons, definitely. I can't even list them all.
Mhm.
But definitely, I'll tell you a bit about me, as I mentioned before. Um, I'm perhaps an overachiever. The other day, I googled the term workaholic to see, if I fell within that category, because I almost think I do, which is actually dangerous. once I get my mind set on something, I like to, work towards it to make it a possibility. I would do everything, legally, everything in my power that's right to get it done. So definitely for my business, it's been somewhat, but not entirely, a one-man band. At the beginning, it was that way because I wanted to protect my idea. Especially as a young person, you don't want to go around telling your wonderful idea to everyone, and then someone with the money just sweeps it up from under you and they get it done for you. So at the beginning stage, it was definitely for me to be doing everything. I put together my own business plan. I built my own website. I did the first 2 books on my own, lay it out, write it, edit it. I had help with a photographer. Everything that you can think of, right? Again, I won't advise it to anyone. You need help. But definitely I did that at that period because I was trying to ensure that I could, when I launched my business or when I shared it to the world, it was something of quality. It wasn't just, hey, I'm thinking of writing something, me sure. It must be something solid that people can say, hey, yes, I want to either invest in this by joining us or being a part of it, or getting their biography done. So since I would have launched, prior to launching my business, I went into a competition, the Itpadaji Investathon competition, and I would have won a $500,000 investment, which definitely gave me a boost, and that exposed me to the public somewhat. So I felt that pressure to launch. Just people were asking for it, when is it coming? So I felt that pressure. So definitely I had to do a lot of, ensuring my website was okay. I had to deal with business clients when it came to, dealing with the folks who were interested in the business and letting them know, hey, as soon as we launch, we get to you, and dealing with all of that runaround that you would probably need an assistant to assist you with. I had to deal with registering my business and all of these things. And after we launched, it was fine and well. And now I'm at the point where I'm juggling several clients. I have assistants, for folks who I want to assist me with advertising. I have another assistant assisting me. So I'm saying the word assist so much.
But that's a good thing.
Communicating with clients, because that can be difficult for me. And right now I'm juggling about, let's say, 5 projects. And that's a lot. And I say that's a lot because I have a full-time job. I'm a journalist. And you would definitely know about journalists. They hardly sleep. As soon as something
breaks,
it is 9 to 5. As soon as something happens, you have to cover it, or something comes out, you have to stop what you're doing and write about it. So I spend a lot of times doing I really don't know which is my main job. I spend a lot of times doing the journalism work in the day, and then let's say about coming down to 7, 8 in the night, when things that kind of cool down, I start my Reminiscence bio work, the writing and the transcribing and all of these different things. Sometimes I go to bed at 3 in the morning. The morning sees me a lot. It's tough. I can't underestimate it. I do a lot of praying, a lot of talking to myself. I take a lot of, the reminders so that I remember to do this, to do that, because I don't really like to disappoint people. If I say I'm going to do something, I like to get it done.
Yes.
So it's a lot of organizing. It's a lot of multitasking, and it can feel very lonely sometimes, especially if you don't have someone to talk to who isn't going through, exactly what you're going through. It's very difficult. But I am not daunted by any means. Daily, I see the fruits of my work, and I have a goal in mind, so I'm working towards that.
Awesome. I definitely want to say thank you pretty much for sharing with us here on Digital Tuesdays, your journey, and especially with what you're doing, Reminiscence Bio. I'm happy that you're thinking of expanding soon, so that we can all actually be a part of this great venture. For our listeners and viewers, can you just um, share with us your social media handles as well as your contact details?
Well, for my business specifically, they can reach us on Facebook. Simply type in Reminiscence Bio. You'll find us on Facebook. Our Facebook page will lead you directly to our website. You'll see our contact number there as well. It might not be applicable to folks in the Caribbean, but if you'd like, you can still reach us on WhatsApp through that number. But if you want, all the information that you can possibly get, including the frequently asked questions, you can visit our website, and that's at www.reminiscencebio.com. We're also on Instagram, but if you like, you can follow us. But we have a greater presence on Facebook.
All right. Thank you so much, Lisa, for joining us today for Digital Tuesdays, where we get a chance to sit and definitely chat with our young entrepreneurs from around the Caribbean. So excited um, for you to be a part of this journey. Until next time, everyone, this has been Digital Tuesdays.
Bye.